Shereni. Ndinobva mumudzi ward 2 padenera center. Ndine vana 2 ndakawanikwa. Ndinorima mashawa, mapfunde, zviyo. Ndinofarira ma-small grains nekuti anotibatsira kazhinji. Kunyanya mvura ikasawanika gore rimwe, asi ini ndinotarisira kuti ndinoona go rinenge rinani rinofadza mhuri yangu. Kuzviyo kunyanya ndinofarira kuti vana vangu vagodya porridge mangwanani oga oga. Ndoshandisa kusadza mashawa nekuti anotibatsira wana zvakanyanya nekuti chibage achitibatsire munyama dzedu. Go iri ndinorifarira nekuda kwekuti rinotipa simba. Nyangwe ndikarima kandima kadiki asi ndinoona go rakanyanya. Mazuva ose ndinodya sadza asi mashawa ndiyo andinonyanya kudya nekuti ndinodya kana pasvondo mazuva 3 chibage. Ndinofarira kubika porridge remauyu nekuti rinofarirwa nemhuri yangu. Plus mauyu anotibatsira munyama dzedu. Ndinotora mauyu ndoisa mupoto, ndoisa pamoto, ndoshandisa mugoti ndichirunga. Kana ndaona kuti yaita ndobva ndabvisa mvura ndoisa mukapu, ndorasa modzi, ndodzosera mvura ndoisa upfu, ndotobika porridge, ndoisa shuga. Kana paine dovi ndoisa dovi, ndotodya nevana. Akatirerukirawo futi kuno kuti tinokasika tayawana kuti zviyo kana tisina tibike porridge, tinokasikawo tatsvaga mauyu tobika edu remauyu. Wana wangu vanofarira upfu hwezviyo. Nyamwe ndikawabikira sadza vanofara. Kunyanya muduku anototi keke mama, nhasi mabika keke asingazivi kuti sadza, asi anozotongoona ari kutodya sadza nemuriwo. Saka ndotoona kuti mhuri yangu inozvifarira. Pane zvandataura, pane zvemusango zvatinodya semhuri zvakaita semapfura. Tinokacha, tikakacha pamwe pacho ndinotoshandisawo ndojura ndoisa mumuriwo kushandisa kuita mafuta. Pamwe pacho tinongodya dzakadaro ari masikati togara edu pamvuri mumwe nomumwe tomupawo zvidyira. Tinofarira tsomo nekuti dzimwe nenguva dzinototisevhawo mafuta. Kana tisina mari yekutenga mafuta tinenge tatosevhekawo ipapo, tinenge takutodyawo muriwo wakareruka pakudya. Zvinhu zvemusango zvinowanzotibatsiridza nekuti zvinotiwakawo muviri wedu. Kunyanya plate yedu kuti inzi plate yakakwana inofanira kunge inazvo izvo, saka tizvifarira kuzvidya. Pandinokohwa mashawa angu ndinokohwa ndoyachengetedzawo pakanaka. Panguva tinogadzira mbuva, toisa pambuva torola asi ngandi kana ndakohwa nguva ndinekuda kuenda kuguyo ndinotanga ndikaikanga ndojura tozoenda kuguyo. Zvimwe tinoikohwa zvakanaka, tikakohwa toichengetawo pakanaka nekuti haidi ivhu. Ndiri kuona vazhinji vari kutofarira kurima uku nekuda kuti nyangwe tirasiswe nemvura asi zviri nani, tine patinozotarisira nekuona padiki. Saka ndiri kuona vechidiki munharaunda tiri kukura pakurima ipapo, tiri kutevedzera ma-small grains nekuti ari kutipawo gohwo riri nani. Nyangwe dai tikashayiwa mvura yakakwana asi tine patiri kutarisira pekuti tinokwanisawo kudya.
Good afternoon, everyone. I am going to read a poem as we start our discussions. The poem was written by a person by the name of Pet Ashinze. And this is how it goes. The earth is a woman The mountains are her bones. The hills bask with her strength. The earth is a woman. The rivers are her veins. The waters course her arteries. The earth is a woman. The winds rhythm her songs. The breeze braids her hair. The earth is a woman. Her Romeo is the sun. The starry skies are her dreams. The earth is a woman. All that breathes are her lungs. That which is breathed upon is her heart. The earth is a woman. The seasons are her feelings. The varieties are her thoughts. The earth is a woman. The quakes and disasters are her fury. The pestilences her vexation. The earth is a woman. Man is her child. Man is her soul. Man is her keeper. Man is her curse. So let's take a few seconds to reflect on this poem before we start our deliberations. So good afternoon once again. Thank you so much for joining this second Knowledge Cafe. Pelham Zimbabwe and Knowledge Transfer Africa are running a series of knowledge cafes under the theme Connecting Food Markets to Agroecology, Biodiversity, Diets, and Health. And in these knowledge cafes, we tackle various issues. And today we're going to be looking at the vital contributions of women and youth in agroecology markets in Zimbabwe's food system. We're going to have 3 presentations. The first is going to be from Mrs. Elizabeth Mpofu. The second is going to be another video about women and youth in markets. And the third is going to be a presentation from Clever Mukowe from Knowledge Transfer Africa. He's going to talk about the role of women and youth in mass markets. Now, because of our time, I'm going to ask that we introduce ourselves using the chat box. Just state your name, where you're joining us from, and what the weather there is like. So while people are introducing themselves in the chat box, I'm going to ask Maimpofu to just jump right in. She is the founding chairperson for Zimbabwe Smallholder Organic Farmers Forum. She's also she's formerly the chairperson of ISAF and also the La Via Campesina General Coordinator. She has recently founded the Africa Women Collaborative for Healthy Food Systems and is also the co-founder of the Shashe Agroecology School, where she is a practicing smallholder farmer who believes in advocacy that is based on evidence. Maimpofu, you have the floor.
Thank you, Theo. Good afternoon to everyone. And I'm really happy to be in this important discussion. I don't think I'll keep on with my video camera because of the internet. You know, I'm in the remotest area of Masvingo and it's windy and hot, so I might be distracted by the wind. So I will just remove my video. Thank you so much. I'll be sharing with you a little bit of the role of a woman looking at the contribution to agroecology. I know very well, many of you, you know very well where I started and how I grew up to this level. So as a woman, I believe that agriculture is the source of livelihood for my family and also the majority of rural smallholder farmers, especially women. I depend on agriculture for income, employment, creation, because I cannot really manage all the work on the farm alone. So I also create some employment for young people who are willing to help, and I also get to reward them with whatever I have. So agriculture, it also, to me, I depend on it, especially looking at the seed and food sovereignty concept, the food security and nutrition, as we have already had during the introduction. I'm the co-founder and the director of the African Women Collaborative for Healthy Food Systems. We have been much involved in this agroecology farming system, but for me, I found it necessary to see how best agroecology produce can benefit to the health of the people. At the heart of agriculture is the importance of seeds, especially our local seed system that have been used for centuries. And I am one amongst other women who are regarded as seed custodians that determine seed and food sovereignty, as well as practicing agroecology farming systems. I'm producing, saving, and preserving the local seeds, and I also share and exchange with other women farmers. It is very interesting to know that women are mostly involved in the food production of household food systems, and also for income generating through production of horticulture commodities. I will not talk about the global food systems and its governance, which has really exploited the smallholder farmers. But I want to let you know that the work of rural women farmers plays a very important role in agriculture, since the women, we are fighting against the global food injustice, inequalities, poverty, and hunger control of food systems, which is caused by the big countries through the multinational corporations in land grabbing and land losses among the indigenous people, smallholder, and peasant farmers in the global south. As a woman, I am working with other women to push for the recognition of the right of farmers to decide which seeds and crops to produce and which types of food system to consume. My work as a rural woman, a smallholder farmer, is to enhance our local seeds and agricultural knowledge systems through seed multiplication, production, preserving, saving through seed banks. And if you happen to visit my center, one of the centers of excellence where I am really situated in here, it's Shasha Agroecology School. You see, maybe I'll send you a picture of one of my seed banks, a traditional one, a cultural one, which has already established, so that you know very well when I speak of seed bank, what do I mean, the importance of seed banks. The programs on seed diversity, agroecology, food security, nutrition, and food sovereignty has also enabled me to promote our own indigenous seeds and knowledge systems, as I was just talking. This also has resulted in enhanced and improved production and usage of diversified indigenous seeds or small grains, now referred as first generation seeds and open pollinated varieties. My comrades, I will continue to promote agroecology and food sovereignty, including improved crop diversity, nutritious and healthy food systems for my community and the nation. The agroecology practices have improved income for my family, as there has been a reduction of dependence on hybrid seeds. Sometimes we wait for the government programs, input schemes, programs that the government will give us seeds. Then the rain comes and we are left if the seeds come late. So also the issues of synthetic fertilizers, which has already depleted the soils, and agrochemicals. So for me, I produce, save, store, and preserve my own first generation or the indigenous seed varieties. Lastly, I would like to mention that if farmers cannot afford commercial inputs, they can still progress with agroecological methods. Thank you so much for giving me this time, Theo, and the rest for listening.
Thank you so much, Maimpofu, for that wonderful, wonderful presentation. We are really, really short on time. Our stopping time is 10 after 3. So I'm going to ask Mr. Mkove from KTA to come in, and for the next 5 minutes, then we can have perhaps a short dialogue before we dismiss. Unfortunately, today we don't have much time. Clever, you have the floor. I'm making you host.
Theo. Okay, thank you.
Yes, you can share your screen.
Greetings, everyone.
You're now host. Clever, go ahead.
Yes, greetings, everyone. I would like to talk a bit about the role of women and youth in the mass markets. What you see on the screen, there are various activities around markets, but I will go straight away to focus on the role of youth and women. I've got just one slide that I will talk through. The one slide that we'll talk through that shows different roles of youth and women. I think if I can just show it like that. Right, basically you find much of the roles of women and youth in the market on a small scale, and most of them on the side of youth on temporary basis. So from the women's side, commodities, they come to market, they come in bulk. Then women mainly break the bulk into smaller quantities, mainly informed by what they understand about the different markets. In addition, they also are involved in packaging, repackaging different types of packaging materials tend to differ from one stage to another, from farm to market, from market to vendors, from vendors to consumption. Then they are also involved in agro-processing, especially peanut butter, and then they also sell processed products, mauyu, that's baobab, and so on. More importantly, they form their own what are called stockfields or mikando rounds to support each other financially. And critically, they are also much more knowledgeable in terms of the use and preparation of food, or what we can call recipes. So they provide knowledge to consumers, and they are also involved in money changing. On the youth side, we then find again much of their involvement is on the short contracts or contract on a daily basis. So you find some they break bulk. They break bulk of their commodities, then they trade in the farmers market, market stores, And even you find most of them are pushing cuts trading in CBDs, industrial centers. Some farmers bring in produce, then the traders become our youth become agents who are paid at the end of sale or end of the close of the market. You also find them much more involved in the loading and offloading. It's either on the farm where they are sent to source commodities and also at the market. And more importantly, then you find some just come to assist farmers. There are some market lingo that are used for those who ferry commodities or assist women to ferry commodities from the market. They say they use their heads, so they refer to that and those others that direct customers to different corners of the market. I call them the machanga and so on. But you then find them being involved in money changing, mobile money, cash to US and so forth. The issue of governance, our markets also try to involve youth and women. They are also given an opportunity to have their own structure that looks at the different issues around women. So for a thought, those are some of the pictures that I just picked today, where you find our youth there waiting for the business. Early in the morning, that's the mass market, and all those commodities have to be moved out. What you see there are women with baskets. These are now vendors who are going to buy commodities from the mass markets all the way to the residential areas. They are supported by youth to ferry to the transport site. Here we see much of our youth breaking bulk to ensure that they meet different customers' needs. In the wholesale market, you find there's a bit of repackaging and value addition. And we have got also some young youth who are in trading high value crops. Catering is also part of the role of women in the market to make sure that all those that are involved in other activities finding the food much close by. Packaging, as you can see, we have got women close by the market with different packaging materials. I'll stop at this point. Theo?
Thank you so much, Cleve. Unfortunately, our time is running out. And we won't have
Fine.
enough time to really discuss in depth.
No, that's fine.
However, maybe for the next 5 minutes, because the meeting is supposed to end at 10 after 3. So perhaps up to about 5 after 3, I will open it up for those who have burning issues, burning questions, for Maimpofu and the Clever. Yes, Rutendo, go ahead.
Thank you so much, Theo. Mine is really not a question. First of all, thank you so much to Mama Elizabeth and Clever for those presentations. I think in Mama Elizabeth's presentation, she really outlined the important role of women, especially in agroecology. And with Clever's presentation, we did see some youth being involved in marketing. I think my only comment was that what efforts are we drawing as a movement to try and draw in more youths into more of the production of our food? Because one of the major pillars of agroecology is supposed to be based on the traditional knowledge that should be passed from one generation to the next. And I feel that there's still a big gap in getting more youth involved in production of food and also involved in other local initiatives in our food system. So I'm just putting it out there that as we organize ourselves, I think we should not leave the youth behind in terms of how we produce our food and all the other very, very important lessons that we were drawing from Mama Elizabeth on the storage of seeds, the marketing of seeds, and so forth. So I'm just hoping that even here, as we celebrate life, as we celebrate seeds, as we celebrate our tradition, we do not forget to pass on this knowledge to the younger generation. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Rutendo. Marian. you have the floor. Marian.
Yes,
Daisy?
thank you so much. Yeah, thank you so much. Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, please, can you hear me? I have the floor now. Can you realize of this forum? It's coming at the right time. And the presenters, Mama Elizabeth brought out some very key questions that we need to interrogate. She said there's a criminalization on selling and sharing of our local seeds. And also there is no support for agroecology. How can we, because when all is said and done, we don't want to lose this good old age traditional practices our forefathers, our parents, our relations have been practicing. How do we protect them from going extinct? How do we protect our farmers who actually feed us from corporate onslaught? Recently, there's been a great outcry against AGRA, Alliance for Green Revolution in Africa, where they've claimed they've spent billions of dollars in a quote and unquote transformative agriculture. But we all know that majorly the work on the ground is done by our small scale farmers like Mama Elizabeth. So we need to come together and find out, how do we protect these people? What can we do to ensure that we amplify and ensure the great funding from our governments, from our own African government first, because charity begins at home, and also for these donors who give this outrageous money to corporate organizations to start funding and also supporting our small scale farmers. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marian. Are there any further reflections, responses, comments from anybody? Charles?
Thank you very much. Since we don't have time, one of my roles was to sort of synthesize this conversation. So I'll just jump in and say a little bit about what I'm hearing from Elizabeth and Clever. It looks like from Basi as well, and all the questions are very useful from Mariam and Rutendo. It looks like a lot is already happening at the farm level, as shown by Elizabeth's presentation. And then also a lot is happening on the market side. Maybe how do we position agroecologically produced commodities in the markets, which is a big issue. Of course, like what Mariam is saying, it's a big battle. We are battling with big organizations that are making money from selling commodities that are not very good for people's health. But I'm sure it's a winnable battle because already a lot of movement is happening. I'm glad to hear that Elizabeth is the leader in all these big movements with women and everyone. But I think women have a critical role as shown by these presentations. Women are the ones who shape our food systems, they shape our cuisines. And then young people are the ones who take the message forward, given that they are the ones that are the leaders of the future. One of the issues that of the agroecology schools can we have? If we can have as many as possible, I'm sure we will definitely win. It's the onus is upon us to really work hard and have more of replication of good practices that are happening. I think I will stop there for now.
Thank you so much, Charles. Unfortunately, we are out of time, and I really apologize. I'm realizing that this might be a subject that needs a lot, a lot more time than we had for today. So allow me to say thank you so much to everyone who managed to join this short discussion. Perhaps we can organize another session and really delve into this subject further. We have something else planned. You are aware that this is part of the National Seed and Food Festival that is ongoing. So allow me to end our discussion with a short video.
Ndinondonzi Charlotte Mujera ndinotengesa these products dried stuff totengesera muretail panumber 66 tinotengesa maproducts akasiyana siyana. It's like tine this dried beans, sugar beans, we have got this ground nuts, we've got different types of products here like Noah 45 yakashadiswa last time on television ichinzine more iron, more zinc, like this traditional rice, makoni tea and the like. We have a lot of products here. We've got modzi mananga, these ones.
Inini ndinachira ndane almost 10 years ndichitengesa mumusika zvirimwa izvi upfushwa, upwezviyo, brown rice, beans, nyimo, nyemba, chimira, upwekasava, upwebrown rice, madora, matemba. Ndonguva yandanayo ndiri mumusika ndichitengesa zvinhu.
Chii chakaita kuti mufarire kupinda mubhizinesi? Ine mhano nguva yakadini?
Bhizinesi chakandifadza kuti ndipinde hazviore zvinhu zvakaoma izvi. Ini ndakakurira kuGuruve ndoka ndakakurira, saka chairima zvirimwa izvozvizvi. Ana mai vedu vaitibikira upfu hwezviyo, tichinwa mahewe echimera, upfu hwenhunga, hwemapfunde, mufushwa, brown rice, kana nyimo isa takakura tichizvidya. Saka ndakava ndinozvifarira kuzvitengesa kazvi zvinobatsira kuvanhu vaya vanorwara nashuga, BP, ndochikafu chavanonzi vaite vakuridzirwa kuti vange vachidya. Vechidiki vashoma vanofarira kudya zvechibhoyi izvi nekuti vana vakakura tichichengeta vana ivavo vasingadyi chibhoyi. Saka zvinhu zvinovanetsa kana kuvati vadye upfu hwezviyo kana mufushwa havadi, havatoziva kuti zvinobatsira chii mumiri yavo.
Saka zvamunotenga zviri zvizhinji izvi zvinobva kunzvimbo dzipi dzacho?
Zvinobva kunzvimbo dzakasiyana siyana.
Semuenzaniso?
Semuenzaniso bhinzi rinobva kuChipinge nekuGuruve zvakanyanyisa, nzungu dzinobva kwaMutoko nekumudzi zvakanyanyisa, raisi iri rinobva kuChipinge again zvakanyanyisa, zvinobva kwasiyana like vana nyima vanobva kunora bhowera ndokwazviri best. Noah 45 I think payakaadvertiswa yakungobva nzvimbo dzese dzese dzinorimwa bhinzi.
Play Africa.